Audubon 2456.
State of the Save is back with another awesome Game Club episode. This is going to be a really fun one. This is one we've been talking about for a while. And we have our largest show to date. Of course, I am Eric. Sitting to my left, the triumphant return. Nick, what's up, Nick?
Not much. How's it going?
I started you off so high.
I gotta bring that down. We gotta get into a comfortable middle ground.
Couple mids.
Because that's what Undertale needs, right? A nice little mellow flow.
Yeah, yeah.
Nothing too out there.
We can't get too high up here. That was Michael.
Hi,
what's
listener.
up, Michael?
Hi.
And also our special guest today.
What's up? I'm John. I'm also here.
John, you're here.
He's
Yeah.
here. Wow.
We have
He's just appeared out of nowhere.
We have
Thin
a
air.
foursome here.
Just like an Undertale, I just appeared.
Yeah. We got a foursome here. This is exciting. This is we're gonna try our best not to talk over each other and be crazy. It's probably gonna happen anyway. You're just gonna have to deal with that. Starting off,
That's what everyone wants to hear. It's your fault if you don't like this.
I have a very passive-aggressive relationship with the listeners.
They know it.
Yeah,
They know what
oh,
they're getting
I've had some of them tell me to my face.
You gotta keep them humble.
Got to keep those people that we beg for reviews and listens from humble. That's the
Be sure to 5-star us on your way.
yeah, 5 stars. And tell all your friends. That's the Vince McMahon mentality of if I hate the fans, they'll keep coming back.
It's working out for him.
It's working out great for him. It ain't working out so great for us. But we got an awesome show planned for today. We're going to be talking about part 1 of our discussion on Undertale. Playing up through to the end of the lab sequence is the best way, I guess, to put it.
Yeah. The halfway point in all of the long plays I looked up to analyze.
I want to say there was even an achievement that after you go through there, straight up says, like, halfway done.
There's an achievement. Well, the halfway point achievement's weird because it pops up when you get to the waterfall. And then once you get to the Hotlands where I am, it says final stretch. So I was like, did I mess up? And I checked them and it's about halfway. So I don't know. Maybe it's like the last major area. But seeing this the halfway point, there's going to be a lot of story that happens in that last half.
I feel like,
And Nick's shaking his head, yes, being the only one who's
Yep.
played this. So
Yeah, none of us have beaten it or played it all the way through yet except for Nick.
Yeah.
yes. So Nick is like sitting there the whole time going to be judging our opinions, being like, look at all these pathetic fools.
Yeah, you guys don't know the lore.
You don't know the lore. What a bunch of losers. But before we get into our bad opinions on the game, let's talk about some other stuff. Let's talk about some video games we've been playing. How'd that sound to everybody?
that sounds
Yeah.
good to me. That sounds routine at this point.
It sounds like almost like we do this all the time.
It's my first time.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. John's like, this is completely new
I've never
shit.
talked about a video game before.
Oh, no.
John, I'm sorry, you signed up for the wrong podcast.
What is a video game again?
It's
Back in the 40s, a guy had a military equipment and decided to make a tennis game.
You kidding me? If I had somebody who's never heard of a video game, I'm just showing them Night Trap and being like, this is what video games are. If no one had a chance to listen to our Night Trap episode, it was fun. I don't care if you didn't listen. I don't care if you did listen. It had a great time
There's
making
that
that show.
antagonistic relationship with the fans again.
It's
I
back
don't care
at
if
it
you
again.
listen to us.
That's-
Please listen.
yeah.
Please.
This is just my cry for help. Let's talk about some video games. Nick. Hey, man.
Hey,
You want to talk about some video games?
sure thing.
What you been playing, Nick?
It's been a while since I've done this, so I'm trying to go through my last few games. I played the Ascent.
Hey,
Hey,
I played some Ascent.
Yeah, I think the next 3 games I'm going to say are just games that we all played and also kind of played together in
Well-
some spurts.
Well, in that case, it'll make it easier for us to talk about video games.
You don't want to listen to my one-man show about the Ascent?
No, not really at all.
Yeah, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I will. Tell me about the Ascent, because I played maybe 3 hours of the Ascent. I didn't play a ton.
Yeah.
I know, Michael, you played some of the Ascent. John, did you have a chance to play some of the Ascent?
I
you
have
played
not.
this? So we're going to pitch you the Ascent then.
Okay.
Tell me about the Ascent.
All right, the Ascent is like, I don't know, is it isometric camera type thing? You walk around and shoot stuff,
Yeah, it's the overhead Diablo style camera. in
but
my
with
mind.
guns.
yeah.
Ooh.
It's pretty fun. Like, I kind of liken it to a Destiny, but it's not a first-person shooter. So you're kind of just making your way through this map and shooting mobs and doing quests. I played this on Game Pass, which apparently is like the worst place to play it.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
Really?
From what I didn't do any research on, apparently if you buy it full sale on Steam, it's got a lot more stuff in there that's like not game breaking. Like there's problems with DLSS and stuff with the Game Pass version.
It's okay. Maybe I'm wrong here, but this is the first time I've ever heard of a Game Pass version being different than the Steam version.
I want to say there's some versions of some of the EA games on there that have you don't get the full premium edition, you get the baseline edition. But if you sign up for EA Play Proper or buy the game, you'll get more.
I mean,
DLC.
that makes sense, but this sounds like a straight up this is a different version of the game. Like those bugs and stuff that did not get transferred over to the Steam version.
That explained why my Xbox One was on fire trying to play this.
Yeah, this game has a lot of bugs.
That's really weird.
My
'cause I
floor
ran into-
disappeared and people were falling from the sky.
Which makes no sense because when I went back and watched, Michael posted this clip to the TikTok or whatever, the
Yeah,
Save
yeah.
and Save TikTok.
Good plug, Nick.
Yep.
High quality.
There were people falling through textures like the map, but then I was walking around on my screen on the floor. But then when the map finally popped in for Michael, it showed me walking around outside the map on Michael's screen.
Okay, so
I thought you had an upgrade that I didn't have.
Also,
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, but none of the enemies that will come from the air, they always come from below, when they spawn. So was that was it
Yeah.
just a straight up textural pop in issue, or was it just
I think what it was, I was attached to his loading, probably. So there's probably a bug in the crossplay version. I have no idea. I'm not a game developer, so I have no idea. Where his loaded in, and then you're just like, oh, it's ready. Here you go. And so I popped in the game while the game was loading, is what it seems like.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning that I was playing on PC and he was playing on...
Original Xbox One.
Original
A 2013 Xbox One, everybody.
Same, honestly.
So I played it on the Xbox Series X because I'm above you peasants.
Oh.
Except you, Nick. You're
That's
above
right.
me.
That's right.
No, but I had no issues. So I think I need to hop in there with you, Nick, and see if it does the same thing to me that it does to Michael there. But that's I saw the clip obviously that Michael posted, and I just chalked it up to original Xbox you having an issue running
That's
it.
what I was thinking, yeah.
But that sounds a lot more suspicious now that you've explained this situation.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the actual game itself. How do you feel about this game?
I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm probably maybe 3/4 through this game. This is going to be the first game that I have not been obligated by social contract to complete in a while.
Your life away to finish.
But I've definitely hit probably the majority of the huge story beats, and I'm probably going to see it through. It's with the bugs and stuff. It's nothing too crazy. It's obviously not stopping me from playing it. I've had one hard crash the entire time, which happens on any console really. But yeah, I mean it's a little cyberpunk RPG. Stop me if you heard this one before.
I was
Bugs?
really yeah.
I was about to
Bugs
say,
on
that's a
Cyberpunk?
lot of bugs then, huh?
Yeah. John, you don't know this, but there's a long history of me being very disappointed with the Cyberpunk game.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
So-
a unique experience just to Eric.
Just to me, no one else.
No one else feels the
The internet was like, this is the greatest game. They crowned it king of video games, and lonely Eric in the corner being like, I feel like this kind of sucks. The one thing that I was really taken with the story was that the whole concept was just straight up what happens to all the employees when the business goes out of business, and that was it's a cyberpunk story. Corporations practically owning people is very standard for cyberpunk. But I've never come across a story where it's what happens when one goes bankrupt? And all the middle management is well shit, what we gotta do with all these assholes? I do want to say that it's got the Diablo style, but it doesn't do the thing that Diablo does where it just constantly is hitting you with loot. Mm-hmm. So I felt like it was a little bit easier to manage. That's what tires me about those games is I kind of get to the point where I lose a rhythm because I'm constantly going in and being well, is the numbers bigger? But this kind of spaces it out enough that I'm not falling into those traps.
It's more akin to a halfway point between that and a Monster Hunter, in that like you're going back to like a town area and then buying your stuff that way with the credits you accumulate by going to like the dungeons and everything.
Which personally is a system I prefer because I
So what you're saying is you want to play Monster Hunter?
went down
Welcome, Eric.
No, we went down that road. It did not go the way you thought it would.
One day.
What's some other stuff you've been doing, man?
The other game I played was Back for Blood beta.
Is that another one we hopped on?
Son of a bitch. We all played Back for Blood. Back for Blood beta. We had a good time playing it together. Did you play any more? I've only played it with y'all.
Yeah,
I did not play any more after that.
Okay, that says something.
It kind of does.
John, you like Left 4 Dead?
It's pretty fun. Yeah.
You'll think Back 4 Blood's pretty fun.
All right.
Here's the thing.
Left 4 Dead 3.
Yeah, pretty much.
2.5.
If they could have called it that, they definitely would have. I think I told John that it was the the Chinese swap for Left 4 Dead.
You bought Left 4 Dead on Wish.
It's the Battleborn equivalent to Overwatch.
That one...
Battleborn was just bad.
Yeah.
I did see the trailer for it on E3, and like before it was even like a fourth of the way through, I was like, "Is this Left 4 Dead?"
Also, it was like
They got you.
They also played the same trailer like 20 times during E3.
They played it like 3 times, and then they had a special event. That was Warner Brothers game they had. It's like, here's 30 minutes of Back 4 Blood. I was like, why? We had this before. It's the same trailer.
I didn't watch E3 or anything, but I got like maybe 2 hours into our little gameplay session, and I was just like, isn't this supposed to be vampires? And Michael was like, that's a different game.
I like the fact that it took you 2 hours to be like, these don't look like vampires at all.
There's an escalation to these things.
Yes. Every PvE shooter is the same game to me.
T-Virus, G-Virus, I'm contractually obligated to apparently mention Resident Evil on this show.
We can't talk about Resident Evil anymore.
It's been
I'm
hard.
putting
It's on
a
the retired
hard
games list.
Yeah, I'm putting a hard mandate that we have to go a few episodes. We played about a chapter, quote unquote, and then maybe a quarter of a chapter.
I left because I had to go to bed in the morning, and apparently
go to walk.
I had to go to work.
Okay,
at 3 in the
cool, bro.
morning. How dare I?
Yeah.
So I left, and then I got messages as soon as I was getting into bed and everything, going, "Oh man, it went bad as soon as you left."
Yep.
Yeah, the bots suck. I was voting to kill the bot.
To be fair, I didn't know he'd become a bot, so I dropped all my equipment on the floor so you guys could grab.
It wouldn't have helped. We had a pretty cool random that we were playing with, so we had a good 4-man team.
Props to Zane.
Yep,
I don't know
shout
if you
out
plugged
Zane.
the show to Zane.
We did not.
It turned south too fast for you to plug the
Well,
show.
and then
I don't know
also
what happened.
I got tired and irritable, and we started dying, and the fun went away.
I don't know, it kind of felt like, honestly, that there was a something that we're not triggering into that first
there was a
mission.
sequence in which we got to, in which there was just waves and waves and waves of enemies.
Like, no exaggeration, probably around 5 minutes, we stood there, like, shooting zombies.
We all ran out of ammunition.
That should not
That
happen.
shouldn't happen.
And
no.
it feels like it was a bug because the objective was just survive the horde.
Mm-hmm.
So we did what you would do. We found a defensible position and we just kept killing zombies.
It's a Halo Reach situation.
Yes, but here it's just you just straight up ran out of ammunition. You said something, Nick, in the Discord that I really agree with. This is a game best played one chapter at a time.
Yeah, so I don't know if it was just the first mission or whatever, but we got into that, and it breaks up into like 8 stages, I guess, with a halfway point through the middle. And I would say like halfway through that, we probably did like an hour and 15-minute game session, and it was just like, that's kind of it for me right now. Like, I would definitely come back to this if the sessions were way shorter.
I feel like the game encourages you to play at least a chapter, but I agree with you. There's like about an hour and a half because it's not really there was a card system that they had. There was like a bonuses that they had, but nothing was special enough for me to really keep me interested beyond the basic fact of just shooting a bunch of monsters and hanging out with my buddies. And I said to you, Nick, before the show that I enjoyed playing with you guys, but I would not go back and play the game by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Not
if
a
you're
solo
like,
endeavor, no.
no, it's not it's if everyone at this table were like, let's get together and play some Back for Blood, I would do that just to hang out with y'all and play some video games. But if we were like, hey man, let's get together and play when Halo comes out, that's something I'd be like, oh shit, I play in Halo anyway, so let's get together.
This is a game you would play if your buddies who all have their Xbox screen names with the last online 8 years ago were still active.
Yeah, all those guys.
It's like, let's go. Oh,
Yeah,
one day they'll upgrade. One day.
We tell ourselves that.
I'm not even, I knew half those people. I'm not even entirely sure they're alive anymore, brother. But yeah, man, I think your feelings on that kind of ride with the rest of us. You said you had 3 games. Is that the last one?
The last one that you guys didn't play, I made that up entirely, was SplitGate.
Hey, I've got that on a hard drive.
You should boot that up, man. It's pretty fun. At least until Halo comes out.
Goddamn.
I feel like that's probably a burn, but I'm sorry. But the only reason I'm playing SplitGate is because Halo's not out. It's cool. The portals really do add like a different aspect to the game. Has anybody checked out SplitGate?
I have not checked out SplitGate.
Nope.
I looked at it. It was like, oh, it's coming to PS5, and the beta is only for PS4. So me being a snob, I'm like, no.
That's just strange to me though.
Peasants.
This game's been out for like 2 years, and they've done that probably one full time where it came out. And I don't know if it hit with people or something, and they just tried to revise it, so they took it down. Because my buddy turned me on to it, and then I played it for like maybe a month, and then I went to go back and play it again. It was like, nope, this game doesn't exist anymore. You can't get on these servers. And then a year later, it pops back up.
That is weird, because I ain't gonna lie, like I'm a first-person shooter guy. You'd think I would know about this, but it wasn't until I think E3 this year where they showed off, I think beta footage for console is when I was like, oh, this looks kind of cool. It looks like Halo Light.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got it on my hard drive. Maybe we'll do some. We'll play some just to see. Is it cross-play?
It is.
Yes. Or at least it will be when it fully launches, I think.
No, yeah, it's still it's crossplay at the moment.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm about to say, if it's waiting until it's fully launching, Halo might be out by then, and at that
I
point,
don't
who
think
gives
they
a
have that
shit?
time.
They were about to lift the beta, and then they were like, it's getting too popular. We might need some more time to iron this out before we fully launch.
I mean, I hope nothing but the best for him, but there's a monster in the first-person shoot award coming, and I feel
Battlefield 2042.
also coming out. I'm very excited
that
about.
game was cool.
Yeah, man, that's some high-quality list you got, Michael.
Speaking of big games coming to eat some indies lunch, I've been really looking forward to Axiom Verge 2. That shadow dropped, and me having no self-control, I picked up Axiom Verge 2.
I clearly remember a conversation on the Discord that went, and I quote, I don't have the money to grab this right now, or I'm going to save my money, I believe was the word. I'm going to save the money. And then next time I talk to you, it's like, oh, I've been playing Axiom Verge 2. I was like, wait a second. One of these things is not like the other.
I didn't have the money. I was just like, I bought some other games.
No, it was. I think it was you didn't want to spend the money.
I didn't want to spend the money.
I'm not, yeah.
But then it was
that
like,
the
wait a minute, it's on sale for its launch. I'm going to get this anyway. Metroid Dread is coming out soon, and this is very much that Metroidvania style. It's an indie Metroidvania. Stop me if you heard of this one before.
Never heard of it.
But so Axiom Verge 1 was a game that surprised me, and I really enjoyed. Axiom Verge 2 is doing something pretty it's got the style and the flow of the first game, whereas the first game was more of like an NES style graphic thing. This is more like a Super Nintendo upgrade. And it kind of flips the first one on its head in terms of gameplay. So the first Axiom Verge was mostly about getting crazy guns and using guns to lock new areas and using the guns to like defeat bosses and everything. This is like a lot more exploration focused. The only ranged weapon I have right now is a boomerang.
Okay, that's a solid. Of the ranged weapons you could be handed in a video game, a boomerang is pretty high.
So I got a boomerang, and like a pickaxe, and I just got like an axe and a shovel. So this is more definitely exploration focused. Like all of the bosses, they made a big deal about this before launch that they're optional. You don't have to engage with any of the bosses. And a part of me is wondering, I was like, did you just not want to balance these bosses? Because these seem pretty easy so far. There was one boss that was really cool. I don't want to like spoil like a boss here, but there's one in like the water area that had you play with your abilities in a way and trying to like get the boss down like a certain track to activate an ability to use against them.
Usually when they do stuff like all the bosses are optional, it's because the bosses are like hard. So when you say like, oh, they've been kind of easy, feels weird to say that they're optional in that point. You know, like usually it's like all the bosses are optional because they're tough as hell, and maybe you won't finish the game if you get stuck on one.
That was like a criticism with like the first game, that the bosses were really hard and you had to beat them in order to progress. So I feel like this, when it comes to something being like an overcorrection, I feel like that's the only thing, because I'm really enjoying this game. This is a really solid Metroidvania. And when it was about to come out, he was saying, oh yeah, it's dropping pretty soon. He said that about E3. And then a couple days later, they announced Metroid Dread. And this is one dude, Thomas Hopp, one guy making this game. So I'm sure he was like excited like the rest of us, like, oh, Metroid's finally back. And then the realization over him going, oh no, I need to finish my game before Metroid comes out. So he was like, all right, was my bulk of Monster Energy and crank out this video game.
Just pounding monsters and desperately trying to finish this game before Nintendo. I will probably play that thing. It looks pretty good.
It's good.
I ain't gonna lie though, like if I don't get around to it, I'll play Metroid first.
I feel like that's why he had to.
Yeah.
You're doing with a time crunch. There's a looming shadow. The king is about to return.
You gotta get your shit in quick. Anything else you've been fiddling around with?
That's it for now.
Right on. John.
Yeah.
Hey man. How are you?
Pretty good. In terms of games, honestly, retreading a lot of old ground lately, but I did, not to break a rule immediately, but the most recent game I played was Resident Evil Village.
Get him out of here!
God damn it! We had a rule.
I won't say much, but
That's fine.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and make
I'm not allowed to chime in.
you can't say nothing. I'm gonna make an executive decision here and go ahead and say we're gonna give you some Resident Evil talk
Okay.
from on high.
I do appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Because this is a game very worth talking about. It is very good. I enjoyed Resident Evil Village. I beat it. So I'd played 7, and I knew it was a direct sequel to 7, but the shift of tone was like, it felt natural despite being sort of a different environment entirely. I really enjoyed that game.
So we just did a show on Resident Evil 7.
Yes.
And we enjoyed the hell out of that video game.
Oh yeah, I listened to that and I was so like, I was one of those, I was like, oh, what are they going to say about this? What are they going to say about this?
It's
great.
8 is, I have 8. I just got to get around to playing it, and
it is a ride. Oh man.
I agree with you just from the outsider's perspective that the concept of the tone changing a little bit, because everything I've seen seems to be, and correct me if I'm wrong, you've played it, I've just watched trailers and stuff, but it seems to be a little bit more action heavy.
Yes.
A little bit less heart stopping.
Yes.
I might be.
There's some moments where it is heart stopping, but it is in general, yes. That is, I'd say that's pretty correct.
Yeah, I tell you, man, like I feel good that this is where Resident Evil is going. As people who listen to this show can tell you, we're fans of the series, and I love 4. That's my favorite video game of all time.
Oh wow!
Yeah, man. Hey, man, you want to talk about some Resident Evil 4? I make the rules, Michael. I'll change it for me too. No, like, so after 4, I feel like the series kind of lost its way, and I'm just so damn happy that this is where it's ended up. Kind of give me like a brief run through of why you love 8.
Okay, so it's got so much in it that feels like it could be from different games, despite it being the same experience. Like, you start off in, I'm not going to give too much detail because in case you guys might want to cover this in the future, you start off in like a very casual way. You're given some context into what's happened since Ethan's previous adventure, and then after about 5 minutes of like, oh, this is nice. Oh, cool. This is what Ethan's been. Oh God. Oh no. Okay. The game is starting now. And then pretty much immediately you're in the village area, and it is wild because there's so much to explore initially. You're introduced to all these people and these enemies that I've never seen before in a Resident Evil game, and then once you get along, the game essentially goes into these different sectors of like, I guess sort of major bosses. There are, 4 areas, but I don't want to give too much away. I'm going to stop there because...
I mean, I think, and that's something we kind of talked about in 7. the 7 is kind of divided among the members of the family.
Yes, they kind of kept that, but with these sort of members of the family, I'll say.
Yeah, I mean, we're all aware of Sexy Vampire Lady.
Yes.
Some of us more than others.
I got very well acquainted with her.
Yeah, we all got things awoken in us. But I know that there's
some surprises still waiting for you.
Yeah. Okay. Oh. Things just got jumped up the playlist there.
Some crazy things happen.
But I am
in that section.
But I like the fact that I really that's one of the things I loved about 7 was how like each section was kind of dedicated to a member of the family, so you were kind of contending with that person and you really got to know that person in and out. We talked a lot on our 7 about how Ethan's kind of a self-insert character.
Yeah.
But the really good love of that game comes from all the characters that surround Ethan.
Oh, absolutely.
Like Mia, Jack, all of them. That's kind of what builds that world out and makes it so amazing.
Yes.
And Ethan's just kind of what we would like to think of ourselves.
Yeah. That's a great way to word it. And it's really the same with a lot of these characters in this game. It gives this sort of same feel as Resident Evil 7 in that way. But the way the game is divided up, it's so neat because there's moments where it's like there's a section that, without giving too much away, it's horrifying. And that's sort of the most scary part of the game. And then there is another section where it's like, it's more so eerie exploration. And they managed to make each section of the game feel like its own contained experience. But it was still Resident Evil, and it was still amazing through and through, all the way up to the end, in my opinion.
I'm definitely looking forward to playing it. I mean, I think I kind of had to do some separation just for my own mental health.
Yeah, understandable.
That and 7.
Yeah, no, definitely understandable.
But I am really excited. I'm going to ask you one more question, and then we can move on. But is there a Leon Kennedy in Resident Evil 8? Is there a Leon Kennedy?
There are a lot of things that reference the past.
Okay.
I will tell
that's
you
all
that.
I need. In my head canon, I've just made it that the whole game is about Leon Kennedy.
I'm about to make you real mad, though, because
no.
and this is coming from someone who's only played 7 and 8.
Oh, no.
I've only seen playthroughs of Resident Evil 4. But even as someone who's like that, I know this game goes out of its way to reference previous titles more so than 7 does.
Okay.
You're rewarded for playing 7, absolutely, because there's so much reference to that. But in terms of the older series games, there's a lot for you too in the lore of this area, the Resident Evil world.
Right on, man. Anything else you want to talk about?
Well, honestly, I recently finished this endeavor of I have been over time recollecting a lot of old Pokemon games that I had lost over time.
Okay.
And I finally have a complete collection from Generation 1 to 7 in the games.
Damn.
And my goal, this will be a years and years goal, is to eventually have all of them beaten and as much of what they call it a living Pokedex as possible, where all the Pokemon you can acquire in that generation are in the game.
Yeah.
At that one time. That's a goal that's a long-term, literal years goal. But I've started with the Ruby and Sapphire remakes, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and it's sort of making me realize why I love these games again, because I just love Pokemon.
I have such fond memories of Blue in particular, because that was my first game in the series, obviously, and it hit me in the middle of the Pokemon fever that the United States was going through at the time.
Yes.
Where we all were buying cards and I was buying the games, and then I only really made it, I believe, to Silver.
Oh, yeah?
And it wasn't because of I still really loved the games, but I think I just transitioned to a fan of the games and not really following everything else as hard as I was,
Right.
I went from, being so invested in it. It was just, peak fandom at that time. And, so I have, this weird thing that, I look at Pokemon now and it's just, there's so many damn Pokemon.
Yeah, no.
It's
understandable, honestly. Because I took a small break from the series around the time they released like the most Pokemon they'd ever released at one point in time. I think it was like 157,
Oh damn.
which was more than the original.
Yeah, that's
series.
more than in
And
my
then
mind. They're
I
all
came
Pokemon.
back and I was like, oh god, what is this? And I'm gotten to where I know them all now because I'm just that much of a Pokemon nerd again. It's like I was into it really hard as a kid, then I fell out of it in like high school because I was like too cool for Pokemon, and then after college I just didn't care, and I was like, yeah, I love Pokemon. I'll play it again, and I'll fall in love with all these characters over again.
To our like younger listeners, that's like the weirdest thing that happens when you get older.
It is
Like, yeah, you just like you do fall out of stuff in high school and stuff. You get too cool for school.
You start to regret all the games you've sold and been like,
Oh, I'm so
yes.
fucking mad,
so
dude.
mad that I gave away my
There's
Super
so
Nintendo.
many games, and see, at the time I did it to get more games.
Yeah, that's how I was, like 100%.
Yeah, like and so I kind of justify it. Like in my
Yeah.
head, I'm like, I sold these games to get more games.
I had to do what I had to do.
I had to-
Exactly.
it was tough times. It was hard on the streets, and I had to sell those games to get more games. But I do look back on it now. I'm like, damn, I had so many good games. I am looking all the time for like my in back into the Pokemon world in the gaming sense. I recently, like, my kid got into the cards a little bit at the worst possible time.
Yeah,
for
this
kids.
is a crazy time.
She was like, "Hey, Dad, I like these Pokemon cards." I'm like,
This
No.
isn't a game.
So do 30-year-olds who like to
Yeah.
sell them for hundreds of
They
dollars.
were
These
like-
are $100 bills. These are not game pieces.
I had to sit
Yeah.
there and be like, I don't know if it's safe for you to be into this anymore. But
It's crazy now.
yeah, but I'm like always looking for that in back. And like one day, like a part of me just wants to go back and play Blue again.
Oh, yeah.
Just for the nostalgia reason.
And that's the thing. You should play the ones that you loved.
Yeah.
And like, there's always this like, oh well, nobody plays the new ones. Like, you don't have to play the new ones to love Pokemon.
No.
Just if you grew up with a certain aspect of the series, then that's what was special about
Yeah.
it.
What got me back in the series was actually Let's Go. It's a
Yeah.
very simplified version
And
of
that's a
Pokemon
good
Yellow.
way. Yeah.
And then I jumped into Sword and Shield. Right around the time all that discourse was happening, going, they cut half the decks here. I'm like, I don't know any of these guys, so it doesn't matter.
They didn't cut it. Is there still a Cubone?
There's
Is there
still
still
Cubone.
Cubone.
Okay, I'm sold.
So-
I don't care. I got Cubone.
How about a giant Cubone?
Holy shit!
Oh, yeah.
Godzilla Cubone.
Yes.
Yes.
Man.
Every Pokemon is like could be essentially a kaiju in this next game. Huge. That's
This-
like the gimmick of Sword and Shield.
I'm okay with like giant Cubone, which also sounds like it might be a subreddit somewhere.
R/giant Cubone
Honestly,
for all your
it
save
might be.
needs.
See, this is the joy of State of the Save. You never know what you might learn. If you would like to start a subreddit dedicated to State of the Save called Giant Cubone, I will join your subreddit. You know, guys, I think it's time. I think it's time to do something that we all got here to do, which is talk about fucking Undertale.
Why do you sound so hostile?
Here's a fun fact. It's late at night, and I've drank like a lot of Bang energy drinks. I am jacked up as hell, everybody. No, I am actually, because I want to be super like aggro about Undertale because it's such a mellow game.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, I
Shift
actually
the tone literally.
when we pitched this game, or I think Michael, you pitched this game. I'm gonna put this on you.
Okay. All right.
But no, it's not in a bad way.
Oh, okay.
It was one of those games I've always been aware of. I've been to enough Comic Cons where people are walking around and like, I'm from Undertale. And I'm like, I'll take your word for
You've
it.
watched AEW?
Yeah, y'all great. Our new co-host, Kenny Omega. Hey Nick, I hate to break it to you.
I don't know who that is.
We've tried to kick you off the show twice to give your spot to professional wrestlers.
That's fine.
That's
I've
what
also-
I said he would say.
I went
Exactly.
to-
was
we
like,
went to
never mind. Yeah, that's fine. I saw this coming.
We went to a WWE event, just yelled at Xavier Woods that if he wanted to be on our show, we'd kick you off.
Doesn't he do a podcast?
He does, and it's
A podcast
vastly,
and a video game YouTube channel.
There you go.
vastly more successful.
Isn't
than-
that kind of like the natural like progression for all wrestlers though? Is like forays into video games.
Yeah, even like wrestlers who don't need to be in it, like AJ Styles started doing video game stuff, and it's like AJ Styles like just playing like NFL Madden 2020.
Didn't Randy Orton try some video games?
Yeah, that went really well.
wrestlers and ex-porn stars are the big thing on
Ex-porn
Twitch.
stars and well, the ex-porn stars make sense. I get why they because like it appeals to the kids being like, hey, my mom can come across Twitch on my computer. She can't come across this. But like the wrestlers, yeah, it's always weird. And yeah, Michael, I bet you Randy Orton would be on our show. I would do a show with Randy Orton, but I would like demand that we have the right to edit. I was like, Orton went off the rails around 45, and we're just going to come back at 70. You're not aware, but Randy Orton.
I have no idea who any of these people are.
Orton said some really bad stuff on a Twitch stream, so that
Seems
why.
par for the course.
Seems about right. He walked his ass off at that show we went to, though. He did a great job.
It was a house show.
He
And he
had
was
a
bled.
house
bled
show?
it. Yeah. It's
Does
house.
this have the same DIY like connotations? Like you went to some suburban house and watched some professional wrestlers?
Yeah,
beat
John
ass?
Cena showed up at my house and just wrestled in the backyard. No, a house show is just a show that's not on TV.
Oh, okay.
So, and to be honest with you, it's vastly better than watching WWE TV right now because it's just like fucking wrestling. What a concept. Let's actually watch
Yeah,
people
fucking
wrestle.
wrestling.
That's a different concept. That goes back to your other side of Twitch.
Sometimes
Let's
instead
get...
of going to wrestlers going to video games, they go to the porn star.
See,
It's a triangle.
It's a triangle. And somewhere in the
what I'm
middle is State of the Save. Let's get off back on Undertale. John, this is what you get yourself into, buddy. I hope you don't have any potential job opportunities coming up. Why is this not on your resume, man? I don't know what you're talking about. No, Undertale. This is a video game, like I said, I've been aware of it for a while. It's popped up. Actually, I've downloaded it before, and like, I'm gonna jump into this. I'm gonna do this, and then it starts a little slow, and it was like, just didn't grab me right from the get go. Because when I started it up, the music actually like triggered a memory in me. I'm like, I think I've heard this music before. But like this show does so many times, it as Nick puts it, puts us under contract to finish a video game, and I'm really glad that we have because I think it's a pretty damn interesting game. Right off the bat, let's do our normal thing, go around, just kind of give first impressions. And Nick, I'm gonna kind of put you as last because you're the guy who actually finished this thing.
That's fine.
So John, kind of what's your first impressions on Undertale? Did you know much about it going into it?
Only the memes.
So only the me.
Which are the worst part. Like that. Everybody does the Rick and Morty thing where they say Rick and Morty is the worst part of Rick and Morty, like the fan base. That's like the memes and the fan base of Undertale are the worst thing about Undertale.
Really?
It really is.
Okay, I'm not
trying to kick like a hornet's nest or anything, but like it kind of is like.
I am going to say that it just goes up on the Undertale subreddit. So.
Which is why, though, I was so pleasantly surprised when I started playing it because it was so nice. It was much different than the memes gave off.
Memes sometimes make things a lot less subtle than they actually are. Like this game actually, like it's a lot of bits, but there's some subtlety to it.
Oh yeah.
And I think memes just like they strip away all the context and the subtlety, and it's just like it's a funny skeleton, bro. Like I said, I'm not super hip on it, but I was just aware of it enough to be like it kind of put me off of it. So I'm glad I'm not the only one.
One of my roommates in college was talking about how they this was years ago when it came out. They're like, I'm playing Undertale. I'm like, oh cool, what's that about? And they tried to explain it to me, and I was like, oh, cool. I'll probably play it eventually. And eventually was 6 years.
Yeah, with a contract to make you finish it. No, I mean...
But I'm glad.
Yeah. Michael.
Yes.
What's some vibes? What you feeling about the Undertale?
So even though I never played Undertale, it was always a game that fascinated me because I watched a playthrough of it back when it came out. Not even a full thing. I watched up to right after the funny skeletons.
Okay.
And
so the funny skeletons popped up, and you're like, not for me.
No. It was just like I'll finish this later, and then never did. I was like, no. It was like I want to play this on my own, and then I never did.
Okay.
So I got all the way up to that point, and being as it's been 6 years ago now, it's all of that left my mind. Really, I just remember funny skeletons.
Yeah.
And that was the only thing I really remember. That and the bit at the end with Toriel, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
So overall, I'm really enjoying this game, and I'm really excited to see where it goes.
Okay, Nick. Undertale super fan.
Yep, that's me.
You get the T-shirt on and everything.
Yep.
what's your feelings on Undertale? Obviously, you played it before, but kind of give me your general thoughts of going into playing this game.
So when we were talking about doing this, I kind of thought that this would be something that I wouldn't be as interested in the second time around, and that's not the case. I'm playing it a different way than I played it originally, which was basically just kill everything except for Sans and Papyrus. But this time I'm actually going with the pacifist thing.
Team pacifist.
Yeah. And there's like the lore of this game is very weird because it has to do with a lot with like subsequent playthroughs and stuff. So like the story that you get throughout this game is not exactly the same. If you do like a pacifist route one time and you do a genocide route the next time, it's going to remember that you were a pacifist the first time and then go genocide the next time. So like I think a lot of like this game's wealth of like interesting things that it does comes from like subsequent playthroughs.
Okay, so I'm gonna put you on the spot here.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember your last playthrough enough to help kind of like give us some insight into that?
So what's weird about this game, and we were talking about this in the Discord, I absolutely hate all the Alphys bits. And that's the only thing that I remembered about this game going back to it. And then everything else was like the lack of Alphys actually made this game better for me the second time through. So I might not be a lot of help. Yeah, and it's the worst. I hate Alphys. I'm not trying to spoil it. It's just I hate Alphys. I'm sorry.
I'm having like
the laboratory.
The
It's the worst at the laboratory.
Oh.
The worst is yet to come.
Oh, no.
She started calling me as soon as I left that. And I'm like, this
Yeah.
seems like it's going to be a thing.
Yeah.
I hope this doesn't become annoying.
And it does, and I just feel like the bit really overstays its welcome. I don't know. I think I'm doing a public service by getting it out there and making you aware of it so that it's more palatable when it comes along. But I just cannot stand that character.
Thank you
I'm
for
playing
your
Skyward Sword, so I'm experiencing Phi. Is it worse than Phi?
I actually didn't beat Skyward Sword, so I have no idea.
So probably
Probably worse. I don't know.
Well, I mean, one of the games he suffered through, the other one he didn't. So. Let's kind of set the stage here. Game does what I love about any video game. It jumps right to it. It's like, there was humans, then there was monsters.
Humans don't like monsters.
Humans don't like monsters. They attack the monsters, ran them underground. You're a human, and you fell into the underground. Welcome to Undertale. And it has a great music cue every time the title card pops up. It's just dum.
21X, the whole Mega Man bit, and
everything.
That's an Earthbound thing too, being set in 1990X.
A lot of this game, the dude who developed it, he pulls a lot of stuff from the Earthbound stuff, like a lot of like almost direct rips.
To the point that I really wish I was more familiar with Earthbound.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I would get a lot more of it.
Exactly.
But I am familiar enough that I am like aware that it's being ripped. I'm just not particularly aware of the gag in itself. You know what I mean?
A lot of the gags
where I'm at.
come from also knowledge of just RPGs in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first bit when you run into Flowey and all that, where it's like the battle tutorial and it's like picking fun of like RPG tropes. Like, oh, this is technically your first battle. It's like, here, catch these friendship pellets. And LV, you know what that means? And you're like, level, and she goes, that's love. And you're like, okay, this is gonna be this game's whole mantra.
It's it's very self-referential, and I'm okay with that kind of stuff to an extent.
It hasn't become like annoying or grating so far because, at least for me,
Not to the point we're at, I don't think.
It sounds like we have some stuff coming up, though.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and just kind of jump into this. And I was talking about before the show that it's kind of a hard game, especially at the beginning, to talk about because it's a lot of just bits. You know, and you can talk about your favorite bits, but the story doesn't kind of start building until later on in our playthrough. Mm-hmm. But I do want to kind of just start off with some things about the combat. My least favorite thing about this entire game is actually fighting people. Because the rhythm stuff is fine. I'm playing on console. I feel like the dodging bullet hell stuff, no matter what, I can't. My cursor just doesn't move fast enough.
I started going to the D-pad because the stick wasn't doing
I tried
it for me.
that and that didn't work well.
It feels like it's very much would play better with a keyboard.
It does.
having like that.
That is what
primary
that's
direction.
what I did. I used my I've been playing this on my laptop.
And so you feel like you've had a pretty good time with it so far with that aspect?
Yeah, overall, it's been okay. There were a few combat situations where I was like, this just doesn't feel natural, but those are fewer and far between for me.
The randomness of the attacks makes it difficult too. Like
Yeah.
some battles like go better than others. It's when you have multiple. When you do a random encounter, which for an RPG, random encounters are pretty sparse in this game, like one per in between story sequence.
Yeah, it's
So
not. It doesn't
it's not,
handle you.
It's
over
not
that.
annoying, but you get to a point where you're like fighting like 3 guys, and then it's just all their attacks piled on. I kind of wish it was 1, then 1, and then 1, or 2 at the most. But when it's 3 piled up, you're gonna get hit. And if doing like a pacifist run like me and Nick are, we don't level up because you only level up when you kill something. So we're still staying at level 1, so we can take probably 3 or 4 hits before we hit that game over screen. I'm hitting that quite a bit.
I didn't really. I don't want to jump ahead too much, but I've only had one issue with that, and it might just be because I did use the controller for a little bit, and it is super floaty. I feel like when you're trying to get that hard around.
Yeah.
Playing with the keyboard there's so much precision with it. There's no issue for me, but
I feel like for me, this might just be my old man hands. I've complained about this before, but I just feel like my brain is moving faster and I'm moving the stick, but I'm trying to do like very precise like dot, especially in the bullet hell sections. They'll like it's like a dot that explodes into a bunch of dots. And it's like I am feeling like I'm moving the stick fast enough to get around this stuff, but it's just not physically moving as quick as it should.
Yeah.
It might be my old man hands. You're laughing at me thinking it is, but I feel like there's a disconnect here. I do like when the game does like some of the gimmick attacks where it's like I'm thinking in particular of one boss where it has arrows that are coming down and you're blocking the arrows.
that's the Undyne fight.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
The
then,
Undyne fight was great.
and then it
Yeah.
has the kind of the catch that kicks in where those arrows are facing a different direction that loop around wherever you are. And like
broke
at
my
first
brain.
at first it broke me. Yeah,
It's
like,
too much. It was too much for my brain.
Yeah, it's definitely, especially at the end there when it's like he was like 40 of them. I just ate a lot of damage and hope for the best. But
honestly.
but I like when it's stuff like that because then it's more like a puzzle than just bullet hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bullet hell stuff is when it gets kind of monotonous. And I think that's one of the reasons why I didn't do a pacifist run, to be 100% honest with you, because it seems by going and killing fuckers, I can get through the combat a lot faster.
That's
so I
fair,
won't
yeah.
have to do the bullet hell stuff as much.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, like I said, maybe I'm robbing myself, but I'm just really not a fan of that bullet hell kind of defense.
Yeah, because for me at least, rather than just going through the attack motions, every combat situation is a puzzle in that I need to figure out how to appease the opponent. Like the like jellyfish-looking dudes. And you you hit the flirt button. It says you shake your hips, and then it wiggles back, and then it leaves.
There's
You're
a
like,
little-
this is fun.
There's a little subtitle that says "sexy wiggle" in the
I
middle of
didn't
the
see-
combat.
I didn't see that one. It just says you wiggle your hips.
I did pat the great old dog to the point that his head goes to the sky and then comes back around. And that was fun. I give you credit.
The greater dog was
The greater
great.
dog.
even my homicidal character was like, I can't kill this dog.
No.
He's the great old dog.
I am genuinely curious about like which characters you decided to execute.
Everyone but the great old dog.
That's, everybody.
Did you kill Papyrus?
No, I didn't
Okay.
kill him. Yeah, everyone else though. A lot of people are dying. A lot of people are dying.
a very empty village.
I got like a crazy 6-year-old roaming the ward.
Do you kill all the random encounters?
Yeah, oh yeah, kill all.
So you do understand that like when you do that, that's what makes your random encounters spawn less. Because you're literally killing every monster in the world.
Oh, no.
I realized that at the very end because I went to backtrack to level grind for Undyne, and then it was like, nobody showed
Yeah,
up.
nobody came
And it
or
had like
something like
ominous
that.
music. I was like, maybe I'm not doing the right
You
playthrough.
literally killed everybody that
Yeah,
existed in
and
the
then-
world.
Let's
Yeah.
just go ahead. You say problem, I say solution.
Oh, no.
All
Oh,
right.
no, you're gonna get it on the back end.
Okay.
Oh no.
I ain't gonna lie though, like my brain also went
I'm-
because I know y'all, and John, I don't know you as well, but I'm like these are some good people.
They're not gonna be like homicidal maniacs. Somebody on the show's got to be a homicidal maniac. I guess it falls to Eric to be the one.
Does Eric
No
kill
one's living now.
That's fair. The only reason I became a homicidal maniac was because I accidentally killed somebody early on. And I was like,
You're
well,
like,
I don't even know
crossed
what that
over the
was.
line.
yeah,
There's
I guess
no
I
going
gotta,
back.
I gotta murder more people now.
Guess no going back. Offensively, I don't mind the attacks. With it being like a like a kind of a not a rhythm as much as like just a timing based attack. I actually don't mind that. That's fine. It's more the defensive stuff that I've kind of struggled with. Moving on into the game itself. The visuals of the game are very much like you said, kind of Earthbound early NES RPG. I think the sprite walk in the combat looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
It's very like webcomic looking. A lot of the characters look like something you would see in a webcomic.
And that you would later see in a webcomic because of this video game.
Yeah. I'll kind of, and like I said, if I'm skipping something, y'all go ahead and tell me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just kind of jumping into our main character that we meet. Now, Michael, say this name for me.
Toriel.
Toriel?
Toriel.
Toriel?
Yeah.
Okay, that's how I was saying it. I'm glad that I was right.
My voice went different there for a second.
You go up a little bit.
Yeah.
You get your anime voice going on. I think this character was pretty good. I like the concept of like a motherly character straight up being like, you don't need to be here. Here, I'll fix all your problems for you and just keep,
What I loved about it is I think it's making fun of the traditional trope of starting a JRPG because people say, oh, there's a lot of hand holding in the beginning. It's just literally holding your hand, guiding you through the puzzles. I was like, I see what you're doing here, Toby.
It's a good gag. And also it sets up the ending of that character, especially for me.
Yeah, I was about to
Very
say,
well.
not everybody had an ending with that character.
It was rather pleasant and heartbreaking.
Yeah,
I have
exactly.
a very unique
After
experience
accidentally
about that.
killing her and then panicking and reloading my save.
We'll get to that. But
Oh no. Oh no!
Yeah.
No! No! It's the Ocelot thing again!
Yeah.
No!
we'll
The
get
game
there.
doesn't forget, Michael.
We'll get there in a second.
We
really
had a
doesn't.
nice pleasant hug. What?
In this reality, you did.
Oh no!
We broke my.
Freaking it's literally Ocelot.
It's literally
We
Ocelot.
died in our reality, and I heard my.
Did Metal Gear teach you nothing?
No.
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 Don't you remember the river?
My river was very full. But okay, so we get to this whole section where she's guiding you along. Eventually, she does the cool thing that every game should do, where it's like, I'm gonna leave, you just stay right here. And of course, what you're gonna do, you're gonna keep on going. I feel like this whole first section, like I said, is pretty much just cool enemy, like fun little enemies that you encounter in bits. There's not a ton really to talk about per se.
Not in this bit.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but like to me, the next like story portion is when we get to the house and we actually, get the concept that she's like, oh, you live here now. Like you're never going home.
Mm-hmm.
This
You
is
now
your home now?
Yeah.
Who wants pie?
Yeah, you live here now. Welcome home. Here's your room. There's a great. I just hit Nick's laptop. There's a great section where you go into the room to get a night's sleep, and you look at the toys. And it's like, oh, a bunch of old toys. None of these
them
interest me. But I when I entered the house, I did the obvious thing, and I walked downstairs right from the get go. So it kind of spoiled some of
It broke the flow a little bit.
the flow, because I know that you're supposed to really walk around the house and like the underground should be something you encounter after maybe you've gone to sleep or you've talked to her for a little while. But I like the concept that it's like, we're gonna live here now. You're never going home. The conversation you have with her where you're like, hey, when can I go home? Oh, never. Why you want to do that? I got something I gotta go do. It is kind of a commentary on like the JRPG thing of like the hand holding at the beginning to the straight point that when you get out of it, you have to fight to get out of the tutorial, basically.
Yeah.
You literally like fight the manifest, what manifest as the tutorial. You have to walk your way past it.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole concept that you're not the first human that's ended up here.
I like the tonal shift here.
Yeah,
Because like you're walking to the exit, and she's like, "Do you know what happens? They come, they leave, they die," and that just her saying that line is like after like who wants pie and everything is very much like a stark tonal contrast.
Yes.
And this is not the first. This is the hardest like this tonal shift hits, at least in my playthrough. But it's
Nick's just nodding.
You're just like, Eric, you just kill your monster mom.
Listen, we'll get there.
She's a nice lady.
No, she is like she's supposed to be like Supermom, and you see the heartbrokenness of like.
She's seen this happen before, and she just doesn't want to go through it again.
She's got like a PTSD where she's like, "Listen, I've seen, like you picture like is it other kids or is it other adults or whatever? It's like I've seen so many people come through here, trying to walk their way home, and every single one of them dies." And the game even will. It was a spoiler for later on in the section. It references that there's been at least 6 people.
Yeah.
You know. That's passed or been killed.
Yeah.
So you go like if you run off the logic that she's been the gatekeeper to all of them, she's lost at least 6 people.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like there's she never does like a heel turn. She's never evil. It's always done in like your best interest.
There is a little bit of imprisonment there, but it's completely justified from her perspective.
From her perspective.
Well,
yeah.
When I was walking around her house and everything, what made me decide like, oh, I'm not gonna make sure this goes the way I want it to. I went in like the bed first of all because I'm like my character who I named Penny. Penny had a long day. She had like.
You didn't name him after yourself. I just named him after.
It was
myself.
it looked like a girl, and I've seen her be a girl before, so I was like, I need to think of a girl's name, Penny.
Okay. Well, it's Eric. My character shows how creative I am.
Mine was John.
Thank you, John. What about you,
it's
man?
It's a role-playing game. I'm
I
role-playing.
just clicked the closest letter, which was T.
You just You're the guy who on the Legend of Zelda saves all like stink butt.
Yeah, that's what I put in there.
Yeah.
But there's a bit where like if you go to bed after like a few minutes and everything. There's like a little plate of pie waiting by you.
Yeah.
And everything too. So
It's
I was
like, aw.
that's nice. And I went through. There's when we could meet like Sans and Papyrus. It's alluded to when like you explore her room. She has like a joke circled. So I'm trying to infer of like a skeleton pun.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to infer: did she hear that one and liked it, or was she making her own, so when she runs into Sans again, be like, hey, I got a joke for you. I thought this one was funny. So I don't know which one it is, but either way, like fleshes out.
Did these characters ever even meet in the first place?
I assume they did because like her town, like the town's like literally outside that door and everything. Mm-hmm. But she doesn't go there for groceries. She literally like goes like outside because I talked to a frog. And the frog said, she goes this way for groceries. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Only in this game is like, I talked to a frog. He told me where the mom character went for groceries. I will say this. Like, yeah, she imprisons you, and that's bad. But it is, like you said, it's never a complete heel turn when it's like, I'm imprisoning you to eat you. Yeah. It's like, I'm generally trying to save your life here. And here's like, I'm going to break character for a second here. At this point, I was still a little bit confused on like how fatal it was going to be to kill her.
Okay, yeah. I was wondering how Eric was going to walk it back.
No, like I'm
I'll break you down to half health, and you'll be like, all right.
I'm breaking character here a little bit. I actually tried to talk to her, and at the point, I didn't quite grasp at this point how the pacifist stuff worked. Like, because I did all the options. Mm-hmm. And nothing seemed to have changed.
It literally says, this doesn't seem like a time to talk right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I took that as I'm doing something wrong. So I kind of took that as I gotta fight her. And so when it does straight up you kill her,
and
I was kind of... I know like my character should be that I'm like, yeah, fuck him. But, you know, I was a little taken back by the fact that I was like, oh... I did kill her. Like, she's dead.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, I had to get her down to, like, talk to her the first time. So when I rebooted my save, I was, like, whittling her down. And then it gets to a point where you're doing, like, 20 damage, 20 damage, 20 damage. And then 150 damage. And you're like, no! Like, you, like, were, like, it's, like, to the point where you're, like a kid. You're, so, like, you're probably using the knife to, like, keep her back and everything.
God damn.
And then you accidentally, like, stab her. That's what it felt like. Because I was like,
yeah.
oh no, Axel, he's killed you!
Let it be said.
Reload save.
Let it be said. I'm like, oh, Eric's the killer over here, but Michael's over there be like, well, it's like the kid's getting stronger arm strength on their stabs. You're really getting some leverage here. Maybe twisting the knife a little bit. I mean, Jesus Christ, Michael, what is wrong with
That's
you?
the alternate universe me talking.
Yeah, no.
Pacifist me
And
is...
that said, like, so you did reload your save.
I did
after
reload
that.
my save.
Okay, I did the same thing. I killed her. I didn't think it would, but it killed her, and I was like, I cannot do this. So I reloaded.
Panic
I
quit.
reloaded. I found a way to do it passively, and then we can go back if you want. But then the next thing you do is you see Flowey, and he was like, I know what you did.
Yep.
You killed her, and you couldn't handle it. You went back.
She didn't do that to me. She didn't do
That's
it.
interesting.
It's good. He was like, it's a kill or be killed world, and you can't just sit on like your high horse or something like that. So I don't know how I.
Yeah,
did
That was when I learned the level of detail that must.
I
be
didn't just
present.
like quit. I didn't like quit to the menu. I like hard quit. Like
Oh, you must- so
like,
you-
flip the Xbox off. Like no, you're done.
you reset your Xbox.
I reset my Xbox to save a life.
Oh no, I didn't. I just did
okay.
the,
So
yeah.
okay, so I'm.
Okay.
So maybe. So we'll see how this goes.
You're still a murderer to
No.
me.
I am.
We know what you did. No, I mean,
Flowey knows what I did.
I really like, let's go into that, if anyone, because one, she has the conversation with you if you do kill her, that she's like, it's almost like, I was just looking out for you. At least it looks like you're strong enough to handle this. Like, it's even worse because she's like, okay, you probably are strong enough to make it through this. And it's like, it doesn't make you feel any better.
Because you're a murderer.
Yeah, because you're a murderer.
Exactly.
But I think it's really cool that we all kind of experienced it differently. Because when I got to the flower, because my first note on here is, oh look, a flower.
But it was shit.
Yeah, literally. But when he comes back, he's like, I can't believe you did that. You're a psychopath. And the fact that yours was like, you tried to change this, didn't you?
Yeah.
You thought you were going to be able to save Scum.
Oh man.
So I'm assuming with you two, the flower was just like, oh, you weak.
Yeah, it's like you're gonna die. It's kill or be killed world out here, man.
Pretty much.
And then he laughs and goes into his hole.
I enjoy this first section. Like I said, and I don't want to undercut the first section by saying that it's not a lot to talk about. But really outside of that, there's just not a lot going on. The next section is when the game really picked up to me.
Good title card here, by the way, too.
Yeah.
Like just like in like pure silence, just Undertale.
Yeah.
That was when I was
Solid
like,
title card. Like,
Oh,
all right,
wow.
this is.
Yeah, it was really good for me and you, John, because we had the whole guilt trip that just happened. And
Yeah.
it's like, Undertale. It's like, oh.
Yeah, and that's
Oh,
why I
damn.
was genuinely like, oh, okay, yep.
For you, it's like, we know what you did save-wise. We meet Sans,
Yay!
the unofficial mascot of Undertale. I think, from my outsider's perspective going into this,
I'd say so, yeah.
they make body pillows of Sans, so I'm assuming he's a big
I'm
deal.
not, I should be surprised, but I'm not.
Yeah, yeah.
Not Papyrus. He's the day. He makes you pasta.
He's pretty cool.
Papyrus is cool, yeah.
He's got too many skeletons in his closet.
The
Zoom
camera
in.
zoomed in on him.
Right now, the camera podcast-wise,
Yeah,
we
if this
just
is a
zoomed in
video
on John's
podcast.
face. Sans is an interesting character. I like him better, like in contrast to his brother, because he's the slacker character.
They work very
right?
well together.
But like
yeah.
his
Good
brother, I imagine we will. And correct me if I'm wrong here, Nick. But I imagine we're going to be exploring Sans a lot throughout this entire game.
Yeah,
Because
that's
he keeps popping back up, so he's not gone from this section.
yeah.
But his brother, he's got a lot more going on. Where he's overconfident.
He's a bounty hunter specifically.
He's a
Kinda.
wannabe
He's an
human.
aspiring one, especially.
Yeah, he wants to be a human hunter because he's trying to get himself into the Royal Guard.
He even has like a armor plate and everything. Like he's like I'm dressed for the job.
It's
got
a
this.
Halloween costume.
Yeah, and then Sans even later, he's like, by the way, he put that on last week and he's not taking it off since.
Yeah, he's been showering in it, and like I go back and forth on him.
On Papyrus?
Yeah,
I'm all high on Papyrus. I like him a lot.
I'm all in on Pepper.
no, like more like what I think about him, because like Okay, first of all, does Sans think he's actually cool, or is
I think
Sans-
there is like a genuine, brotherly love there. Like,
Yeah.
he thinks it's cool that the dude like wears a costume every day and hasn't changed out of it.
I really consider him as like, is my brother cool? I actually think that's like him being genuine.
Because in some ways he almost like humors him, and not in a bad way, not in like a not in like a hostile
Egging
way.
him on. Not
But
egging
like
him on.
like if you do something nice for him, because I was generally nice to him the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Sans is like, hey man, thank you for telling my brother that you liked his pasta. That was cool.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like Sans is kind of giving you a wink and a nod that he's like, I know he's a little weird.
Hey, can
you know, like he's like,
can you give him this one, please? He needs this.
yeah, like he does that.
At first, you're like, are you trying to entrap me? Like, are you trying to get me safe so you brilliant skeletons can get me through this? And then no, like. Literally the maze bit where he's like, you can't go across my maze, and then he has to go and give you the shock collar, and then you see the footprints to go exactly how to get to the maze, and he's like, then I think he like that's the point where he like vibrates near out of existence out of pure rage.
There's also a great point in which he there's a color based platform
Yeah.
where he's loading the computer up, and he gives you just a mountain.
I started
of
taking
text.
notes, being like, okay, blue is this, red
It's
is
just a mountain of text, and then it's just walk straight. And I was like, "This is great.
This game
I don't give a care."
Trolls you so much.
Yeah, but he's been taking cooking classes. He's wannabe human hunter, honorable guy. Doesn't want to create an unfair test for you. He wants it to be fair. He's like one of those hunters who goes out and actually doesn't like feed the animals ahead of time. Like he wants an even fight here. Okay.
He frames it like he's like got the upper hand though, because it was like when you were on the bridge and there was like all this like torture devices and fire. It's like and it's like when he's starting to like you, it's like this one's too easy for you. Let's do something different.
Yeah, he realizes he's like, this guy's kind of cool. I don't want to blow him up with this nuke I got. But I really like the Sans Papyrus. Here's the fun thing about this show,
Sure, we
John.
could probably Google it, but
Happy Roos.
Yeah,
Happy Roofs. There we go.
his bro. Their relationship, like I said, it could have been really shallow. It could have just been like he was the slacker and he was the cool guy trying to be too cool for school. But instead, like I said, they do a good job of making them more, a little bit more deeper, and their relationship a little bit more complicated. My favorite bit is when you go into his house and there's the sock.
the sock.
So he's putting notes on the sock, getting Sans to try to pick it up, and Sans just keeps putting notes on there like, okay.
I moved it. I moved more than that. Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, you basically are dealing with them as you're going throughout the I guess Snowden is the name of this
Snowden,
section.
Yeah.
You're just kind of dealing with puzzles, working your way through. Sans is kind of talking to you, just kind of giving you a little advice and stuff, and you kind of win them over. They kind of become your buddies after a while. Like they're like, this guy's kind of cool. I don't know if I really want to hunt this human.
Being pacifist, that was kind of the flow of like the random encounters for me too. Because when there was a group of random encounters, like one of the options you use work on everybody. You're not like targeting a specific enemy. So I could be like, tell a joke, and then two of them will laugh and be like, "Oh, you're cool," and then leave, and one person will be like, "I don't get it."
Yeah.
Or like, "You're not funny," and then tell a joke, and then I laugh at his joke, and he says, "Ah, you're pretty cool. All right, bye." So like that like dynamic of playing with the different acts with the different monsters, I thought was like really cool, and that's what made me appreciate the combat minus like the bullet hell dodging stuff. And I typically like bullet hells, but those typically play a lot tighter than the little heart across the screen too. So
Yeah.
not to go back to the combat too much.
No. I mean, hey, listen. We talk about that we're enjoying the story side of it, but there is something that, like I said, I admit the combat is kind of a flaw for me. I'm not enjoying that aspect.
Yeah.
And that's worth noting that, hey, it's not perfect.
It plays into like the storytelling aspect from like what at least how I'm like playing.
Especially, I would imagine, especially if you're doing a pacifist run, just because there's so much more like nuance to different fights. Like you learn more about the encounters themselves.
I'm not gonna let Flowey get the best of me by saying you can't keep this up. I'm like, yes, I can.
Exactly.
Let's go, you little flower. Gonna pull you from your. Actually, no, I'm not gonna pull you from your. I can't do that.
Right.
No, exactly.
That would prove you right.
I'm just saying this. You want to know what solves that problem pretty quick?
A knife to the back.
A knife to the back solves that problem. That flower ain't popping up on me.
If you pull a flower, Eric, there are the same amount of flowers left in the world.
That just means you gotta pull a lot more
I love that Batman comic.
Here's a question, John. Are you killing enemies as you meet them, or are you trying to be like more passive? Because like I said, I do admit that I'm killing all the random encounters.
So by default, I try to be passive.
Okay.
For like the random encounters, I'll like make since I messed up early on, I'll make an effort to be pacifist. But if it takes too long, I'm like, all right, you're dead.
Okay.
And then like, so I killed one of the first dogs you encounter.
Oh no! And I'm the monster.
No, and I felt so bad because, like, especially when you get to the we can go back when you get to the village, they're all hanging out, the ones that are alive, and they're like, oh, I wonder where blank is.
Oh no!
Yeah. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh.
All they wanted was your affection.
When I got there was only one dog. So,
Oh no!
And it was the big dog. Wasn't
yeah,
it?
it was the big dog because I did save him. He was cool, but he was by himself when I got there. No clue where his friends went.
Oh,
They're just playing poker, having a good time.
I really enjoy, like I said, as we get through this section, we have the hijinks with the brothers. When you get to the town and the game does like the classic RPG town,
Like,
yeah.
you
I'm
go
going
to
to like the one town you'll encounter because they can't really do these bits again because they're all the classic bits here where it's like, here's an inn. It's like, wow, you seem well rested. That was a quick 2-minute nap, and you seem all right.
my favorite thing is when you go to the shop and you try to sell stuff. They're like, I'm not gonna buy your junk.
Yeah.
And
Like,
like
make a living here.
everybody you talk to is just straight up like, well, I'm not buying your stuff, man. Like, what a weird question to
That's
ask.
great.
I love that bit. Like, just the concept of like, why would I just like give you all this money for like junk that you don't even want? The whole stuff there, I love the interactions with the brothers at their house. Obviously, this ends in a boss fight that kind of leads to what I would consider the actual ending of the section. But the boss fight that he's basically, as you're fighting him, you just start having to feed his ego to actually end it. Because I didn't actually kill him. I fed his ego enough that me and him became brothers.
And since you
You
know
can
about
suppress
like,
your urge to kill enough to let him live.
Yeah, pretty much. It was tough. My 6-year-old was like, stabby, stabby. Because that's the way this kid looks to me. He looks like he's like a 6 or 7-year-old. So like, all of this is more horrifying if you think about like a big monster and like a 6-year-old with a knife. But yeah, I didn't kill him. But I do like the encounter. But it leads up to the date sequence, which is what.
Yes.
and since you know a lot of his personality traits, you know the right, because you spent a lot of time with him, you know exactly what to say to,
I'm gonna say this, and this is maybe me being an idiot, but don't say anything. Instantly, your head went up. Like, maybe it is.
Got him.
No, but the thing with him is like, yeah, by the time you get to him, you get his personality so much that it really makes a lot of sense to talk to him because you know how to talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the issues I have with some of the randoms is like, I don't know, like it feels so trial and error
yeah,
that it just gets on my nerves.
that's fair.
And like, so like a lot of the characters that I do talk down and have a everyone leaves with hands intact are ones that I've got to know really well. So when I get to them, I'm able to talk to them.
Yeah.
But the randoms, it's like, here's a flower who's got an attitude. I guess I could spend about 20 minutes trying to figure out his personality, or I can stabby.
You could just check them. Most of the stuff is just check them and respond in that way.
But then I have to do more of the bullet hell
Like
stuff.
which
is
one more sequence. You have to. You
his
never
bullhead-
skip the bullet hell.
his bullhead head is dirty. And he hit clean, and he goes, "Go."
You're not
thank you."
level 9.
You don't.
I
You're
get-
not
I get-
skipping
I'm
the
hitting-
bullet hell.
I'm
because
hitting
they're
dudes in
scaling
one
with
hit,
you.
dude.
I
I'm
make
hitting
the
dudes
random
in one
encounters,
hit.
but
Yeah,
the
that's
random
what I'm
encounters
talking
you
about.
can just flee from if you wanted to, anyways.
Oh, you can't?
Yeah.
I've just been killing them.
I've never not fleed from an encounter.
I've
Not
fought-
a
I've fought
non-boss.
Man.
I've only fled from Undyne. I think I've just been trying to do all the, because if they ever show up again, I'm like prepared for them and I know like kind of the rhythm of what
Yeah.
to do. But at the same time, if I could just flee with no
Yeah, if I've already seen the bit, I'm not gonna do it again.
Well, I
get
think
nothing
also-
out
and
of doing
I'm
it.
not getting levels anyway.
Exactly.
Why haven't I been doing this?
In my defense, since I'm choosing violence, the killing gets me more levels, so I might as well just stop for a second, take them down, and go
but
about
the
day.
levels only matter if you're killing people.
Exactly.
You can stop the violence
It's a
at any
circle of
time.
violence, brother.
You
It's
can
a
stop
circle
at
of
any
violence,
time.
and I'm on that roller coaster all day long.
Also about this section too, like when
Somebody had to be that guy.
Yeah.
I've
Justify your murder.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury. I can't do that opening. I've already done that opening.
there
on
was
the show
a
once.
there was a cryptocurrency situation going behind the fridge in Papyrus's house.
Yes, okay, so you have the boss fight.
Yeah.
It leads to him thinking that y'all should probably go on a date. And this leads to
Oh
a
no,
great...
you met my standards.
Yeah, you met my standards. So
I just
you-
think it's funny that the entire bit is that he's not into you.
Yes!
Yeah.
I was
Like
also...
you go through this whole exchange where you're like doing this just to let him down softly, and he's just like, actually, I just don't like you.
But, and I like the fact that he's like sorry about it. He's like, I tried. I really tried to like you, but we're just not clicking.
But we should
okay?
still hang out platonically. That
Yeah,
is.
we'll just hang out platonically.
What a nice guy.
He tries. Like he said, you're trying to let him down easy. Everyone walks away happy.
Like
Yeah.
his shirt says, he's a cool dude.
He's a
That's
cool
right.
dude. Which he modified himself, as he says. It's my favorite part. He's like, you too could have a shirt that says cool dude.
Oh, I'm sure I can.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, give me a magic marker. We can make this happen. You are right though. There was like straight up cryptocurrency.
Is this where
going-
Dogecoin got started? Did Dogecoin get its start from Undertale? Because it's literally Dogcoin.
I don't
behind
think so.
the
I
fridge.
think it's
I don't know. I'd believe it if you told me.
I think it's the other way around.
I think yeah, I think
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I think it's
I didn't know what-
referencing because the dogs look like the dog from
Yeah, the little
Doge.
Shiba.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
looks-
thing. I love that dog song, by the way. I've considered making that my ringtone. Every time the game trolls you with dogs, it's just that like little dog tune, and I'm like, I kind of dig this.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
Because there's one bit coming up that I was mad for like 2 seconds.
Oh my god, I walked so hard on that.
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
I was
get
mad
there.
for like 2 seconds, and then I was like, "You got me."
Yeah,
I
we'll
felt.
get
I felt
there.
for that one. Egg on my face. We'll get to that one.
Yeah, I walked on that one for a little while just to get trolled, and it kind of made me mad at the game for a second. My notes took a hostile turn for a little bit. But I do like the fact that you go on this little date, you just kind of hang out, and you kind of realize that you're not for each other, and that's okay. You hit up the dogs with the crypto on the way out, and you call it a day.
You still get his phone number.
Yeah, and he's going to use that, and he's going to use it to screw you over if you're Eric.
Yep.
So this goes into what I think is kind of another one of my favorite bits is right out the gate, you go into the next section, and Sans is manning a little booth, and it's like, it's time for lunch. And you go right back to where you are to go eat lunch. Thank God the game doesn't make you walk it. You know, it would have really sucked if you
Wow,
had
that
to,
was
like,
some shortcut, huh?
Yeah, it says just like straight up, man. Yeah, it's easy doing it like this. Why haven't you been doing this?
But I do like the fact that you go right back into you know, the tavern to have a hamburger and hang out with Sans. This is going to get to the section when you're being kind of harassed or stalked by the head of the royal guard, and you're going to need to tell me the name because
Undine.
who's going to be kind of like a persistent enemy throughout the rest of this section. You also get your cool bro with you, who's just super pumped that he's
hate
getting
that
to
little
see
guy.
all. Why?
It's just so annoying.
He's a little dinosaur man who's like, this is so freaking cool.
He grew on me. I was annoyed at first, but he grew on me.
I'm glad they pay off the tripping aspect.
Yes. Yes.
That, like, he trips constantly, and they
How
pay
does he
it
hold
off.
on?
I don't know.
Okay,
He's got
that-
very,
fair point. Yeah.
honestly, very tiny arms. But this is kind of a... I kind of feel like this section is similar where it's a lot of little funny bits, but it's mostly just going through, running into the night, dodging her attacks, having a conversation with your little dinosaur bro, and then proceeding to do it again and again in like a Rule of Three kind of situation.
This is where you get the most like lore.
Yeah,
like,
there's
the
a lot of
background
lore.
too. Like,
So-
because you learn how like souls are like an important aspect to this world and everything.
So you learn that the monsters are trapped underground. The king of the monsters, who is loved by everybody. Everybody thinks he is a freaking cool guy.
Notoriously bad at names.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the fact that they're like, yeah, he sucks at names.
And we called it home.
Yeah, he could, like, and then the straight next line is he wasn't good at names.
Yeah.
But like, you have this dueling narrative, right, where everyone's like, this guy's great, he's such a cool guy, you're gonna love him. And then you find out that they're trying to actively kill 7 humans to get out of this thing, and they've killed 6 of them already.
Yeah.
So it's like this cool narrative of, to all his subjects, he's a great guy, but to you, he's a homicidal, monster trying to kill you. But then they do have a quote-unquote justification because they're trapped here. And without the power of 7 human souls, they're not getting out.
And monsters, it says they don't have souls. So when they die, that's like the idea, the concept of the final death is like they disappear into nothing. They cease to exist.
Yeah, which is terrifying. And, particularly terrifying for my murderous 6-year-old who's roaming, dealing death. But I do like the concept that they leave it. You do learn, if you read some of the gags and like the books in a particular way, like they read, like you read like in the lab, you'll read some of the books and it's just like these crazy stories, and you'll even say like, that doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem like actual human history. But like the way the monsters present the history is that the humans attacked completely unprovoked.
Yeah.
They were living a happy-go-lucky life. The humans came out of nowhere, attacked them, chased them into the underground, and sealed them up.
The humans are the bad guys.
Exactly. And now the game is, Nick, you've played the games. Don't spoil it for us. But there is, my vibe is it's still kind of an unreliable narrator, because I can see that being true, and the humans are, the villains here. But also with the way that they perceive the king, where they talk about him as he's such a great guy, you're going to love him, and then you find out he's been killing people to try to get out of this. I feel like there's a good chance also that maybe that story's being twisted too, because you learn a lot, like when you read the books and stuff like that people have on their shelves. Human history is not accurate. Like it's like what they view as history is not true. And so it'll be interesting to see, and my kind of running theory is that maybe it wasn't a completely unprovoked attack. That's just my theory. I have zero support behind that. Mm-hmm. But it's just because it seems like perception of the king completely varies depending on who you are perceiving the king.
I just want to pose a question here.
Yes.
It's so hard for you to believe the guy who was
God damn it, I walked into it
down and started murdering even the kindest of souls down there.
I walked into it, I know. Okay, I get it.
So hard for you to believe that maybe humans are not the greatest.
You know what pissed me off? I'm going to pause for a second. The moment you leaned forward, I was like, motherfucker. Because I saw your whole
Why
thread.
is there a Yu-Gi-Oh card on the table?
Why is it a trap card?
Oh no!
It's just literally him being like, gotcha, motherfucker. No, and I could see it playing into that. But then I do have the question of, how would that affect the pacifist run? Where, it's a pacifist run, you're showing the best of humanity. Could the story branch? I don't know.
That's what I'm
asking the
happens,
questions.
yeah.
Listen, guys, I'm
Hey,
just
you're a
asking
human,
questions.
you're not so bad. That's what I'm thinking.
I'll let you know.
Shake out.
I do think the king is definitely not going to be happy when he sees us, though, because it's like the situation with Papyrus. He's like, "Oh yeah, you love Undyne. She's so cool. You guys should hang out." And it's like, she's trying to kill me right now.
Because to them, she's like the protector. She's the knight. She's the hero of their story.
Oh,
yeah.
she's like a celebrity.
Yeah.
That's why that kid's so jazzed.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it makes sense that he's a kid because he's unable to put 2 and 2 together.
He doesn't know
that
you're a
she's
human.
trying to kill you.
He didn't even know what a human looked like.
Yeah, he don't know. He asks you. He's like, "Are you a human?" But like, it is a really cool kind of way of telling the story, that the concept that like to them, she's a freaking celebrity. She's awesome. And to you, it's like actively she's throwing spears at you. Or my favorite bit, and this was a joke I referenced before, Papyrus calls you and he's like, "Hey man, what are you wearing?" And like, I lied. I'm like, "I'm not wearing a bandana, not doing that at all." And he straight up like calls you back. He's like, "Hey, don't worry. I told her you were not wearing a bandana. You were saying you were not wearing a bandana, so I told her you were wearing a bandana to throw her off your trail." And it's like, son of a bitch.
Okay.
Got played by the game again.
It's a little different when you tell the truth, because he's like, "I knew that you were smart enough to change your clothes, so I knew that if I told her what you were wearing, you'd change." And it's like, That was when I was like, because I really want to believe that Papyrus genuinely thought that, but it's like, was he really trying to help Undyne?
No, if you think about it, that's logic for him.
Okay,
Like
yeah,
you think about the guy.
Fair point.
I could see him thinking through all those gymnastics.
Yep.
And being like, makes sense.
He was definitely trying to help us then.
Makes sense. I think I gotta help my buddy out here, man. Listen, my platonic buddy that we just hang out on the weekends, don't do anything else. I gotta help him out. All right. So like I could see him doing both of those mental gymnastics. I like the fact that he screws you over no matter what you tell him.
Yeah.
There's not a ton really talk about here, other than like her hunting you until you get to the point in which you actually face her.
There's one bit in the shop, because I did the whole spiel with like the shopkeeper, and he
Is this the turtle shop?
Yeah, he talks about how there is a symbol of the Monster Kingdom called the Delta Rune, which just happens to be the name of this game's spiritual successor / sequel, and it represents what...
I'm sure that was completely by random.
Yeah, absolutely. It represents what the monsters believe to be either an angel of love or an angel of death, and I kind of imagine that's foreshadowing the two playstyles. Like, there's a human that's going to fall from the sky, and it's either going to be the angel of love or the angel of death. No one's sure which. So
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm a sucker for the stuff in stories where prophecies are received or believed in multiple ways. So the prophecy that people are saying is that there's an angel coming, and some people believe that it's like an angel that's going to rescue the monsters and get everyone out. But there's also a reading of the prophecy that it's an angel of death coming to, that everyone's getting out by dying. Yeah. And it fits perfectly in what you just talked about. It really changes depending on the play style, which angel of death you are.
Yeah.
I kind of have a feeling which one's mine.
Well,
And
based
the fact
on
that-
like,
sorry, go ahead.
no, you're good.
And it's all shaped by what you do. So you have that choice of what angel you want to be, and that's all framed from the beginning.
Well, based on like the information that's we've already gotten to in this thing, I'm not pulling anything from the future, but like even with their like prophecy and stuff, the monsters being saved still results in like your demise. Like it's because of the collection of the souls.
Yeah. So that's the big thing that we kind of get the reveal, and this is when the tone starts to shift. And I actually really like when the game does this, because you could play this game at first think it's just like a happy-go-lucky webcomic meme thing, right? Where it's just like very ha-ha humor, a lot of like humor based on repetition, things like that. And then when it starts getting them into more serious topics, it does it well enough that you don't feel like it's out of place. You know, like
It's natural.
Yeah, it could come across really, really weird.
Yeah.
If it didn't walk as well as it does. When you meet, give me the name again.
Undyne.
She talks about, she's the one who tells you, first of all, it's a great like old school NES Ninja Gaiden style pan up of her on top of the rock.
The silhouette
Yeah.
with like the moon behind her. Yeah,
that was a
cool.
screensaver if there
The
ever
sprite
was
work is
one.
beautiful in this game.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's really like the game is very basic in the main gameplay itself, but when you see the sprites, they're beautiful. And that one in particular, I was like, that's a beautiful image. That's a great pixel art, you know. And one thing, Michael, you talked about before we played this is that this guy is also a composer, and that's something we did not mention. The music's great.
Yeah, I mean, what else can we say about it besides the soundtrack slaps?
Because there's no real standout song because they're all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, so like
It's all really good.
I'm sure someone who's enjoys this game has been screaming at us like, you haven't said a single damn thing about the music. But it's because it's so good, there's nothing to say. Like, what am I going to say? Hey man, the music's freaking great.
I will say it's like one of my top 5 favorite soundtracks, and I still listen to it like before we even played this game again. Like I would listen to it routinely.
Oh yeah, I could see why too. I wouldn't, because there was an option to just buy the soundtrack separately on Steam, and it's like, now I get it.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you know, I see those kind of things. I'm glad you mentioned that because I recently saw like you can buy like a separate soundtrack for like the RE2 remake. I'm like, why would you do that? But here I was like, yeah, I would probably buy this soundtrack. I am not a soundtrack guy usually, except when they're amazing.
Right.
And this one is one that, like, yeah, I could see me listening to this.
I think we all listened to the Messenger soundtrack after playing that
The
game.
fucking Messenger's amazing. You don't want to pause for 40 minutes to talk about the Messenger? I'll talk about the Messenger right now. No, but the music is great. There's nothing else to say because it's great. But when you meet her and she talks about that, you're the seventh soul. You know, we need 7. I've got 6. And it kind of puts everything into a different light. Because all the way up to this point, you kind of have shown the king and everybody else is just kind of these like lovable goofballs. And it's like, no, these people are pretty efficient. They've killed 6 of you humans. They're working towards a goal, and they're very, very close, and you're what stands between them. And because of the perception, give me 1 second. No, man, give me just a second to get through my thought. Because of the perception of how we play through this, it does put their justifications in different light. Me, it's a lot more justified to be blood hungry against me. I'm slaughtering my way across the land. I am a threat.
I am too.
Yeah. Me and John, complete threats. That's going to be a new State of the Save t-shirt. State of the Save, completely a threat. But you guys, Michael and Nick, you're not. You're pacifist.
So it comes across as this is just a big misunderstanding.
Exactly. Or it puts them in a different light of like, no, I'm not doing anything to you. I'm not hurting you.
I'm not one of them, I promise, is
Yes.
what it comes across as. Yeah.
It's the ending to Bastion.
Yes.
So we played Bastion. It's I love that show. If y'all want to go back and listen to me and Michael get real emotional about shit. There's a ending sequence in Bastion that kind of deals with this in a very similar way. And this game is kind of the overarching plot is dealing with that, while Bastion kind of sinks it down to that one big moment. But I do love that it completely changes how this character is depending on who you are as the player. Like I said, me and John, we are killing people. We are a threat to their kingdom and their existence, especially when you take into consideration that we're this human that has a soul and they're these creatures that don't. So death means something different than them.
And if we're causing it down here and we're causing more, if we're further justifying their reasoning behind this plan they have.
You can't make a justification that we're not. You know, no one's going to go to bat for you. Maybe Papyrus will. He'll be like, no, he's my friend. But that doesn't justify all the other people we've killed. Mm-hmm. You guys, on the other hand, are the opposite, where you are making the opposite argument. No, we're not doing anything to you. No one's dead because of me. I'm just some kid trying to go home.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to me that the game, by our play styles, is putting these characters in completely different light. Mm-hmm. And then when the showdown with her, because I don't know, John, did you kill her?
I did kill Undyne.
Okay, so I did too. Surprise. Surprise, surprise. Imagine both of you did not.
I did not.
So when you kill her, it doesn't make you feel good about it.
Of course not.
No, but like, hear me out though. Like, she fights to the end, and it's a very honorable death for her, right?
Yeah.
Like, she's just, and the game does a great job of showing gameplay to show what she's doing, because like her attacks have been so furious and so aggressive, and as she's dying, the attack starts coming in to the point they're almost pathetic.
Yeah, it gets like as easy as the first swing she deals. And
Yeah.
it's like, she is dying. This is like, she literally fights until her body runs out of life force and she can't.
Wow.
And like I said, the attacks at first are so furious, and when you get to the point that we kill her, at first I'm like, oh shit, there's a whole nother phase of this? Oh no. Like, I was low on health, but then it's like the first time she comes in kind of hard still. And then the second time, it looks like it's slower. And I was like, oh, okay, that was a little bit easy. I got through that one okay.
Yeah.
Hit her again. And the third one's like, man, these are kind of easy. And then you realize, oh.
It was around the third or fourth one where I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
We
and everything she's saying is like, no, I'm still in this. I'm still in this fight. I still have this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's heartbreaking.
She's the only other character that
Let's see.
the game references determination with.
Yes.
So every time you save at the spark, there is a little, passage, and then determination is usually around your surroundings.
It's always walked into the joke. At
But
first
that's
it's
the
a
only-
joke, and then it becomes
Yeah, but
Yeah.
she's the only other character where it specifically mentions determination, almost like capital letter with a TM at the end or whatever with her character.
And yeah, it's really, it's very, it robs you of the satisfaction of killing her, because it's not.
It's not triumphant.
No, it's
No.
like in Shadows of the Colossus.
Yes.
When you kill those, well, you don't feel good about it. You feel like you robbed the world of something beautiful.
Yeah.
And here it's like you took this great warrior that has probably defended this kingdom her whole life,
'Cause-
and you rob. And she also references other characters, and I don't know if we know these characters. I'm assuming we probably are going to meet them, but she references like that she's fighting for people, and it really robs you of the feeling of like triumph, because it's like, I killed someone who means something to somebody.
Because for this world, she's the hero. Like, literally, her quest is any quest in a JRPG. Her quest is, I need to get the 7 sages. I need to collect the 7 ancient artifacts. I need to get the 7 souls. It's always, like, 7 in these games, and you are her, like, end boss. So you're who she needs to kill to complete her quest.
Flip these sprites around, and you're the villain with the knife in the hand attacking, and she's the hero character trying to take you down.
And flip yours around.
Because you've been hearing
Yeah,
about this
no,
kid.
I'm saying,
Yeah.
but flip y'all's around.
Yeah.
She's the villain, right? You're
Yeah.
the innocent kid trying to go home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You flip
exactly.
me and John's around. We're the psychopath that's been wrecking people in the land.
Yeah, she's been hearing about this kid this human kid running around killing
And
people.
these, for the
Yeah.
most part, are the same encounter, except the context is different, and that's where I think this game nails it.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm like, just this discussion here is an Bastion situation, where the more I'm talking about, the more I'm like, this game's great.
Yeah.
Yes, the more I'm talking about this, the more I'm enjoying, and also the more I'm enjoying the fact that I'm glad, John. I know me and you are going to be perceived as the bad guys here.
Yeah.
But no, I am glad though that two of us are playing in a more villainous role, I guess is the right way of putting it.
Yeah.
While two of us are playing in a little bit more of a virtuous role, because it's not like a situation like Michael when we played Metal Gear Solid 3 for the show.
Yeah.
You played a no-kill run. And I, we played, you joked about a lot of stuff. But in that game, it's like I never felt bad by playing a kill run.
There was
because
one
I'm like,
pe-
people are shooting me. People
Yeah.
are psychopaths in this game. I'm a soldier.
There's
trying
a
to get-
B-man, like, nothing
Yeah.
makes sense.
But here, there's a
what?
very big difference between the experience. Like me and John had the experience of her with her last breath trying to fight us and trying to take us down. Well, y'all didn't have that.
I love
Explain.
I
Go
love
ahead.
Metal Gear Solid, but every time it tries to point the mirror back at the player, it always falls flat. I always make the reference, like, we're going to play Metal Gear Solid 1, but there's a bit in Metal Gear Solid 1 where it tries to reframe everything you've done so far, and you're like, they shot at me first. They
Yeah.
were going to kill me regardless.
And that's something very much that kind of is like a weird difference there. Is like in Metal Gear, I am here trying to take down nuclear terrorists. Like, no matter what kind of more high ground you can claim here, at the end of the day, the greater good is me stopping the nukes from killing a bunch of innocent people.
Everybody's telling me I'm a bad soldier. I'm going to prove them wrong. I'm going to be a good soldier. Yeah, that's...
I said that about, like, Metal Gear. I came around to Metal Gear Solid 3. And I think, Nick, you did too.
Yeah.
Like, we, at first... Boy, you want to hear something that pissed off the internet. That first Metal Gear is just me and Nick being like, fuck this game.
There's
I hate
a
everything.
stark drop-off in listens between Part 1 and Part 2.
Yeah, part 1 is very big.
I stand by fuck the Ocelot fight.
Yeah, that's not a good
Check
fight.
it out.
You see part 1, and it's like one of our highest grossing shows. Part 2, woo! By the time we got to part 3, man, people mad.
Then we came around, then everybody was like into it from Part 3 on, and everybody, and even you guys were like, this game's pretty great.
Yeah. I mean, we're doing Metal Gear 1. But,
Solid 1, not Metal Gear
well,
1.
yeah,
That's
okay.
No,
let's see.
I'm even like, what are we doing here?
But let's talk about y'all's experience here, because I think this is the big, like, the final thing I really, really want to hammer on is this conversation. What was your experience? Like, I talked about me and John's, where we fought her to the end. She died trying to take us down this monster and it failing. What was your experience with her? How did y'all get out of this?
You're staring at me. Do you want me to frame this, or do you want to frame this?
I'm curious about how you handled the fight. What were some of your actions inside the fight?
I constantly was like, all right, I need to appeal to her hero side. I'm going to keep challenging her.
I tried that immediately.
And then every time you challenge her, her attacks double in damage and double in speed. So it's
eventually
literally
it's just like the bullets are unfair now. It
But
literally
it'd be
says
like, take your hand off the right stick. It's going up. You're playing this like a little arcade stick where you're like have the controller up here and you're like dodging of attacks. And then it got to the point where I was like, do I need to keep doing this? And then I can't remember, but the game literally says you should run. I can't remember who says it or what.
Eventually it says it's just like you can't spare me. Because what I did is I just hit spare every time, which pretty much everything you do is not going to affect the outcome of the fight in that circumstance. It's just like whatever you press, so if you need to heal. It's just going to run through this dialogue tree, which, is like, I'm not going to let you spare me. I'm going to destroy you, blah, blah, blah. And then eventually it's just like, I'm not going to not kill you. And it's just like, you basically have to escape.
So you run, and then she follows you, does an attack, and then you have the opportunity to run again, and you follow her all the way to the Hotlands. And when you're running past the Hotlands, you pass by Sans, who is just at his desk. I try to talk to Sans, like, help me, Sans! And just sitting there like, mind his own business.
But if you keep running, he will stop Undyne, and you can get away and hopefully not
he didn't do
counter.
Well, he did do I think he did something with the bridge. I can't remember. What sticks out in my mind from this is where Undyne collapses from the heat, and there's a little water cooler there.
Oh!
You bring her water.
Yeah, you could leave her there.
Oh.
No,
I gave her water.
Yeah, of course.
That explains the water cooler.
Because because there was a bit which it kind of teaches you some of that where it shows like an umbrella. Mm-hmm. You get an umbrella and you could travel with your little buddy, and he'll walk with you under the umbrella.
Yeah.
So it kind of teaches you how you can carry items across multiple stages and stuff. When I got to the water cooler, I just took a drink. I was like, hot day.
That was what I did.
And also, when you
murder.
I don't like the fact that me and John will be we're trying to give multiple sides to the story, all right? No, but we can talk. I talked to Sans. He was like, "Hey man, I'm trying to do my job here. Let's we'll meet up later." But the fact that whole section is was for you was a desperate flee.
Yeah.
For us was just the walk.
Yeah, that gives a whole new context to that area.
That makes me wonder, the bit where she shows up with the little dinosaur kid there, and the dinosaur kid lets you get away. Did he defend you?
Yeah. Well, so he falls on the bridge
because
he's talking to you. He goes, "Hey, are you a human?" And to me, he goes, "Are you a human?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "I can't hate you. I don't think we can be enemies. We'll be friends because you seem like my friends." It was kind of a sweet moment. And he runs off and trips like he always does and falls off the bridge. And he's gripping there. And then Undyne shows up, and I went up to the kid to try to help him.
Yeah.
And you help him up, and she's like, he stops her.
Yeah.
And he's like, no,
you gotta go through me if you want to get my friend.
Exactly, and she walks away, and he goes, "Hey, I'm going home now. Thank you."
Okay, so that bit played out the same for
us.
I didn't know because since this bit was different, I didn't know if that bit was.
No, that is a cool bit, and it's a cool ending to his story.
Yeah,
the fact that he's been it's a very and it's a very kid thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's like, "Hey, I got a suspicion." It's like, "I think you might be a human."
Yeah, wait a minute.
He's like, "Yeah."
It's the Bugs Bunny thing. Never heard of him.
Yeah.
Bad Bugs Bunny.
Did he have long ears like this? Yeah. Does he have a little tail like this? Never seen one.
Never
seen a rabbit.
Yeah, but that's fascinating. So you give a water even you were basically. So does she just get stopped by Sans, or is there any conclusion?
The whole Sans thing is basically if you have befriended Papyrus or whatever, Papyrus, I don't know how to say it. But if you've done that, he will stop because you're buddies with his brother. He will stop Undyne, and you can get away with pretty much not having to do the last encounter where you have to dodge bullet hell.
Oh.
And then she will pass out right there because it's so hot, and the water fountain is right there. So you can either give her water or you can walk away. If you give her water, she just kind of gets up and leaves without saying anything.
It's that's the end of that. Just we're not going to talk about this.
Oh wow!
If you don't give a water.
I don't know.
I'll assume dead.
Probably, yeah.
One thing, let's do this after we finish this game. I would love to do some look up of how things play out.
That's what I'm going to say, rabbit hole.
I imagine there was a humongous one. And Nick, I really am glad that you have played this before because you are giving us some context to things that helps.
Without spoiling it too.
Yeah. No, and this is the advantage with games like this to always have a guide to kind of make you think about things in a little bit more deep way.
After this, like for us, it was just a walk.
Yeah.
For us.
It was like, wow, we beat the. All right, whew.
We go to
Take
the
a breather.
lab
This is the ending point of our playthrough. This lab here
Yeah.
with
where
Alphys.
Alphys meets you. Alphys has kind of become a fan.
A bit of a creepy fan.
Yeah, creepy fan. She's been following you, and she's built a murder robot that makes you play a game. Makes you play a game show.
At first you're like, oh no, another persistent enemy that's going to end up stalking me. And then it just literally bursts through the door like the freaking Kool-Aid Man. It's like, we're going to play The Price is Right.
Because I walk by the steps.
We're gonna play the price. What?
Price is wrong, Bobby. That's a Happy Gilmore reference.
I
Nick.
appreciate a good Happy Gilmore
Thank
reference.
you. But I really, really enjoy that whole section. It's a lot more lighthearted after what we, what y'all went
It
through
seems
and
like
what we
all
went
the
through.
all the heavy bits in this game are punctuated with something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like you killing Toriel is immediately followed up by like Sans and
Sans.
Papyrus, and then like the Undyne stuff is propped up by this game show robot.
This is going to sound really weird. There's a comic from Image Comics by Matt Fraction and Chip Zdarsky called Sex Criminals. It is a comic about two people who find out that when they have sex, when they orgasm, they stop time. So naturally, they rob banks.
Oh,
That's my first thought.
Okay,
naturally.
but it is a book full of humor.
It's the sexy purge.
No. But it's a book full of humor and ridiculous situations. But it also does relationship drama and feelings of like falling out of a relationship, falling out of love with someone, going through the motions of a relationship. Like really kind of in-depth looks at how these things happen in life, while having this insanity surrounding it. So it's a very similar vibe to me, where you're reading, like in that book, you'll read an issue that will be just like actually a really heartbreaking look at like how these things happen, and then the next issue will be just fucking off the wall insanity. This is very much like that, where you'll have a very heart wrenching kind of moment, and then you go into the insanity. But it does such a great job, and like that comic does, of keeping the two balanced, that I never feel like I am taking it never feels like anything comes out of left field. It all lives in the same
It doesn't tip
ward.
too far one way or the other.
It all lives in the same ward.
Mm-hmm.
So I really appreciate that. We get only a little bit out of the lab before she starts doing all the tech stuff. And Nick, I gotta hope you're wrong, but I feel like you're not. That does get annoying very quickly.
Yeah, it does.
Oh.
It does.
And I know it's supposed to be like a commentary on social media.
Yeah.
And I know that. When did this game come out?
2015.
15. Oh, okay.
I'd say, okay, that joke is already dead by 2015, though. At first, for some reason, I thought this was like 2012, 2013.
Like a reference to like the Zelda fairy like constantly popping up.
Yeah.
Like, hey, listen.
But also, I thought like that might be like a commentary on social media at a time where social media was still still fresh.
I just opened my Twitter account.
Yeah, but yeah, it felt like it was later than it should have been. Like I feel. Yeah, I'm not a super fan of that bit.
The one bit they did with it better was like when Papyrus is like, I have a social media account, pretty popular. He has 12 followers.
There's a troll who keeps making fun of me, and it's obviously Sans.
yeah, I like that one. And that takes us to the end of our section. That was a longer conversation I thought it was going to be, but it was a damn good one. So, of course, for the next show, we're going to be playing up to the end of the game. Things get crazy for me starting next week. I hope to be on the next show. I will at least send in some thoughts or something, but I got a kid coming, so I can't make any promises. But I am definitely going to finish this, so even if I'm not on the next show, I will be sending in my thoughts. All three of you guys will definitely be on the next show. Any final thoughts as we bring this thing home?
Talking about this game makes me really want to finish it and like compare notes. I can see why this game was popular in 2015. This is very much, it feels like a message board game. Like after you finish it, you want to go on like Reddit or something and be like, what ending did you get? How did you play? How did this conversation go through you? Or like watching like playthroughs like immediately after, like with that shit, I like looked up how some of our stuff went, and like when we played like Resident Evil, that halfway bridge point decision. It was interesting to see how your game, even though it made it rough, was a completely different thing. So I'm excited to see where our
Yeah, how mine went.
hopefully this is another Zoe situation. I don't imagine it will be because people talk about each ending in great detail. So
I feel like this is definitely taking our play styles in consideration in a very thorough way.
Yeah.
Michael, I'm gonna let you have the final word on that. That was good, way of looking at it. State of the Save at gmail.com, at State of the Save on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. Make sure you send in your thoughts and all that fun stuff on there. We will see you back, most likely with another File Corrupted next week. And as always, stay safe out there. John, good having you on the show, man.
It's good to be on. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you very much. I think this went very well with 4 people. Ain't gonna lie, I was a little nervous just because it's so many people. You don't want to have anybody not express their opinions or talk over each other. It's just it's a crapshoot. But it's always fun to have different people on here and have different perspectives on things. So thank you, man. I appreciate you being on.
Thanks for having me.
Nick,
Yep.
say goodbye, Nick.
Goodbye, Nick.
My favorite bit.